a long time ago, a soldier was coming home from war. He had a sharp sword and a scabbard at his side and a backpack on his back. Left, right, left, right, left, right. And he came along the lane, and who should he meet but a witch, an old, haggard witch, and a horrible creature. She had an awful face and a nose that came down almost to her chest. Hello, hello, my soldier boy. I see that you're coming home from war, and that's a sharp sword I can see you've got there. You deserve a reward. You deserve some money. If you go over to that tree, you'll find it's hollow. You climb down to that tree, and there you'll find a hall, beautifully lit with 100 candles. And there's a copper door. And you could go in there and find a copper dog guarding a copper chest, which is full of copper coin. But I can give you a magic blanket, a magic apron to protect you from the dog. But if you should go to the second door, which is a silver door, in there you'll find a silver dog guarding a silver chest full of silver coins. But again, I can give you a magic blanket which will guard you, protect you from that silver dog. But then there's a golden door, and in the golden door there's a golden chest guarded by a golden dog full of gold coin. Again, you can use the blanket to protect you. Well, if I go down into that hollow and find that treasure, what do you want in return? All I want is a tinderbox that was left behind by my grandma a long time ago. Of course, a tinderbox is an old-fashioned lighter. Tinder being some inflammable material, and there's a flint and a piece of metal, and you strike the flint and it sparks off the tinder. And so the soldier agreed. And he took a rope and he climbed down through the hollow of the tree, and there in the hallway was all the doors and the brightly coloured hallway lit by 100 candles. And he went in through the copper door, and there he saw the copper dog guarding the copper chest, but he held up the magic blanket, protect him from the dog, and he went in and he picked out lots and lots of the copper coin and put it in his pockets. And he came out, then he went into the silver door, into the silver chamber guarded by the silver dog, and there he found the silver chest full of silver coin. Guarded by the magic blanket, he was able to approach the chest and fill his knapsack with silver. He went on a bit further and he came to the golden door, went through the golden door, and there was the golden chest guarded by the golden dog. But again, the magic blanket was able to protect him from the dog. Now, when he saw this gold, he emptied all the copper and the silver out of his pockets and out of his knapsack, and he filled his knapsack and pockets and even his boots with the gold. And then he made his way back to get out of the hollow in the tree. Pull me up then, old lady, pull me up. And the old witch said, did you remember the tinderbox? Oh, no, no, no. And so the soldier went back and he picked up the tinderbox, which he found in the corner of the great hallway, and he put it in his pocket. Came back to the hollow in the tree, and she hauled him up. And so He had all this treasure, was very rich. And the witch said, "Now give me that tinderbox." But the soldier said, "What is the secret of this tinderbox? Why do you want this tinderbox?" "I'm not going to tell you, I'm not going to tell you." And they argued and they argued. And the witch wouldn't tell the soldier the significance and the meaning of the tinderbox. And so the soldier drew his sword and he cut off the head of the old witch, and he went on his way. He came to an inn. He was able to, now he's rich, he could have lots and lots of food, and he had a wonderful place to live in the room. And one of the servants would clean his boots, and the servant wondered why his boots were so grubby, because they're his old boots. But the soldier went out the next day and he bought some new boots and some better clothes, some fine clothes. And he went to live in a house because he had lots of money. But on his way and round about, there was lots of poor people, and he gave more and more of his riches away until he had nothing. He ended up living in an attic in an old house. And there he'd clean his own boots. And one night he couldn't hardly see, and he remembered he had a candle. And he remembered he had the tinderbox, and he struck the tinderbox, struck the flint in the tinderbox and lit the candle. And then out through the door came the copper dog. "What can I do for you, master?" And he was amazed. "Well, bring me some money." And the copper dog disappeared and came back with lots of money. Ah! But then he struck the flint in the tinderbox twice. And the silver dog appeared. "What can I do for you, sir?" "Well, bring me money." And so the silver box, the silver dog brought him back some silver and lots of money. And he struck the tinderbox 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And the golden dog appeared. "What can I do for you, master?" "Bring me treasure." And so the golden dog disappeared and came back with lots of gold. So again, the soldier was rich. Now, when he'd first of all been rich, he gathered lots of friends around him. They disappeared or became poor. But now they all gathered around him again, all after his money. And the people, his so-called friends, told him about a rumor, a myth, a legend, about a princess whose father, the king, locked her up in a copper tower. Because the legend is this, that princess would marry an ordinary soldier. And the king wasn't having any of that. And so the princess was imprisoned in this copper tower and wasn't allowed any friends to visit. Well, this intrigued the soldier. And he struck the tinderbox once, and the copper dog appeared. "What can I do for you, master?" "I would like you through this night, to go and fetch the princess in the copper tower." The dog disappeared and went back, picked up the sleeping princess, and brought her back on his back. And the soldier was overwhelmed by her beauty, and he kissed her. And the dog returned the princess to the tower. Now, next morning, the princess was talking to her father and mother, the king and the queen, and she said, "I had a strange dream last night that I was carried off in the middle of the night while I was fast asleep and taken by a copper dog to a house where there was a soldier who admired me muchly and gave me a kiss. Well, this disturbed the king and the queen. And so they set an old lady to watch at the outside of the door of the princess's castle to see what happened the next night. And again, at the request of the soldier, the copper dog went and fetched the beautiful princess on his back when she's fast asleep. And then, after a while, the dog returned the princess to the tower. Now, this old lady had been following. She took a piece of chalk and she chalked a cross on the door where the dog had entered. Now, when the dog saw what had happened, he took a piece of chalk and he put a chalk cross on lots of other dogs. And so the next morning, when the king and the queen and all the servants went searching for the house with a door with a chalk cross on it, they thought, there it is, there's one there. And the other one said, no, there's not. And the queen said, no, there. And the king says, no, there's another one there. And they didn't know which door it was. They didn't know which house it was where the soldier lived. And so the queen was very clever, and she got a bag and she filled it with white cornmeal. She tied up the neck and she nicked a corner of it. And she was able to hang it round the neck of the princess as she slept. And again, at the request of the soldier, the copper dog fetched the sleeping princess, but left this trail of cornmeal. And when the dog returned, the princess didn't realize or didn't see the cornmeal. And so the next morning, the king and the queen and the servants, they were able to see this track, and they followed the track all the way to the soldier's house. And they broke through the door and they arrested the soldier and threw him into a dungeon. Now that dungeon had a small window, a grill, which was covered with a grill. And it was sort of eye level. You could look out into the marketplace. And there was people going this way and that way. In the corner, you could see the gallows being prepared for his hanging. And just sauntering by was a bootmaker's lad. And he called out to the bootmaker's lad and said, I will give you 4 silver coins if you will fetch my tinderbox. And so the bootmaker's lad, he went off to find the house where the soldier had lived and brought back the tinderbox. And the soldier gave him the 4 silver coins. And very soon after that, with the tinderbox in his pocket and his pipe and tobacco, they took him off to the gallows. And they're about to hang him when he made a request, because what the custom was that the condemned man was allowed one last request, one last wish. He said, I would like a last smoke of my pipe. And that was granted. And so he took out the pipe and he dampened down the tobacco. He took out the tinderbox. He struck it once, he struck it twice, he struck it 3 times, and the 3 dogs of copper, silver, and gold appeared. Save me, rescue me, guard me from all these guards and all these people that were going to hang me. And so the dogs, they set about, they chased off all the guards, even the king and the queen. And all the people that were left, that were cheering, said, you must become our king. And you must marry the princess. And so the princess was sent for and she was brought to the soldier. And after a while, they were married. And at the marriage feast, everybody's enjoying themselves. And sitting just at the bottom of the table were the 3 dogs just wagging their tails of copper, silver, and gold.